Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. What's going on, everybody? So, y'all know what time it is. I usually do this show at night, but I had to do this during the day because college football playoffs is here. The quarterfinal round has arrived, and we got a dandy tonight with Miami and Ohio State. Y'all know I'm going to be tuned in for that one. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. But basically, in this one, we're going to do a short, probably about 30-minute show. All we're going to be talking about, guys, is just matchups in the quarterfinals. I'm not going to do no transfer portal news and none of that stuff. I may do a transfer portal show though on Friday just to talk about everything going on in the portal, all the latest news, and give it just a full reaction. That might be a thing I do for that day. But basically, man, try to get out obviously these predictions. Put them up on the channel. It always seems to do well with you guys. You guys always make it go crazy. So that's what we're gonna do today, man. Just previewing the four matchups that's gonna be happening today and tomorrow. And I can't wait college football all day. It's gonna be very fun to see with the portal officially opening as well on the second. So that will be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get into this matchup: Miami and Ohio State. Now, look. This is a matchup, man. Like I said in my other previous recording, if you're Miami, you got to get your get back. You got to get your get back, bro. You got to atone for 2003 going up against Ohio State. And the best way to atone is to come in here and pull off an upset. Everybody believes outside of Indiana, Ohio State is the team. Ohio State is the team to beat, right? And this is a really good team when you look at top to bottom. Head coach, defense, offense, special teams. This team is loaded. This team is deep. So how do you go and you beat them in this Cotton Bowl Classic? It's simple for Miami. You got to get out to a good start. You're gonna have to steal some possessions from Ohio State, right? You're gonna have to be able to get a turnover or two. You're gonna have to essentially rattle a Julian Sand who's been performing at a Heisman Kennedy worthy level this season. 31 touchdowns that you guys can see. 3,323 yards. He's been phenomenal. He's been a stud. He's been him. And how you slow him down is their front four got to get home, right? The Akeem Messendors, who had 8.5 sacks, the Reuben Baines, they did it against Marshall Reed. They basically went in there in Texas A&M and they baffled him to a degree a little bit, right? They made it tough for him to see reads and throws. They muddied up the coverage. These are things you're going to have to do for Miami if you're going to have a chance. And you're going to have a plan because you can't just sell out to try to stop the pass. You're going to have a plan to slow down Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's been having a phenomenal season this year for the Ohio State Buckeyes. 1,035 yards, and he has 5 touchdowns, and he just getting started, a true freshman. So if you're Miami, that's the game plan. Batter and bruise, get there with your front four against Julian Sand, and then you're going to have to slow down that running game with a Bo Jackson. But I do think if you're Miami, right, there's a little bit of get back there too in terms of Jeremiah Smith because you were, when Cristobal came in, you had obviously that 5-7 year, but he turned it around pretty quick. You go 7-6, then last year we went 10-3, and then this year obviously with the 11 wins, right? So when you compare two programs, Ohio State has looked better since that point when they played in the national championship in 03, right? And Miami's has kind of been on this, I won't say a nosedive, but not to the level that we know the Hurricanes to be. And if you want to get back to that level, you're picking up big-time wins like this against a number 2 team in the country. And again, it ain't going to be easy. You're going to have a plan for Jeremiah Smith. You're going to have to be able to cover him and not allow him to beat you over the top. I like the cornerbacks from Miami, Jacoby Ward, who's a DB for them. Bryce Fitzgerald's having a phenomenal year. He had 2 interceptions in the game against Texas A&M. So they're going to have to play sticky coverage and make it tough because if Jeremiah Smith's going off early in this game, it could be a long day. But they have more than just Jeremiah Smith. They got Carnell Tate as well. That kid is a baller too. So Miami defensively has their work cut out for them. The best way to go about it and to be able to kind of overcome that is, like I said, getting pressure with that front four. That's how you're going to be able to slow down Ohio State in this game. If you can't get pressure with your front four, it could be a long damn night. Now, I will say this. I do think Miami defensively can get some stops. What worries me, though, is on the offensive side of the ball. And y'all know how I feel. I've never been high on Beck. I'm just not. I feel like you can get so much more play out of that position than what he gives you. You know what I'm saying? Last time out, credit him. He didn't turn over the football. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't gaudy. If you're going to beat a team like Ohio State, you have to have a quarterback that can go toe-to-toe. You got to have a quarterback that can make the reads and the throws. I don't always have that confidence in Beck. He's too inconsistent for me to have that confidence that he's going to be able to do that. And I know Ohio State is a very smart and cerebral defense, so they're going to gear up with Matt Patricia as their coordinator to stop Mark Fletcher. That's going to probably be numero uno. And we're going to shut down Mark Fletcher, who ran for 172 against Texas A&M. And you know what? We're going to make Carson Beck beat us. And that's not a good thing if you're a Miami Hurricanes fan like myself. right? Because Beck hasn't shown that in these big games. He's turned over the football. He hasn't done enough to kind of put his team over the top. That part worries me as a fan, because you're gonna have to make throws, right? Sometimes you're gonna have to be like, hey, we got to tip our cap to you, because what you was able to do. Now you have those players, you had the Malachi Tonys, the C.J. Daniels, and things like that to make those plays against that elite secondary. But you're gonna have to make them more consistent because you have guys coming down in that box like a Sonny Styles, like a Caleb Downs. It makes it tough for you to run the football. So you're gonna have to be able to hit on those one-on-one strikes when it's available, because they're going to gear up to try to stop this run. And Beck's going to have to put the football in some tight windows for them to have a chance. So that's the part for me. If I'm a Hurricanes fan, that worries me. I feel like my defense can get some stops, keep us in the game, but will Beck be turnover centric in this game when he have 2-3 interceptions? Because if he does, it's going to be a long night. Well, Ohio State going to whoop us. But if he can take care of the football, make the throws that we know that he can make, and be a little bit more consistent, then we can come out here and we can shock the world and beat Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? But this is probably one of the best games of the quarterfinal round, in my humble opinion. This one and Texas Tech versus Oregon. Those two are like the best ones to me. This one's going to be dynamite, and it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top for a chance to make the semifinals. Man, I can't wait. This is going to be the game that a lot of people get paid in. Whether that's at the next level, NFL, or whether that's coming back for another year and re-upping your contract. It's going to be very intriguing to see, man. Both teams, like I said, they've been performing at a high level so far this year. And Ohio State's trying to rebound after that loss, obviously to Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do, and if they can force Miami to long yardage situations and make it tough for them. But I'm excited, man. Two really good teams, two stellar programs, But for Miami, this is a chance to kind of like, I don't want to say solidify that rebuild because they did won 10 games last year, but to show, okay, hey, like, we're a program. We have arrived. We are there. We are here. We're not going nowhere under Mario Cristobal, who led us to our first ever college football playoff victory. You want to do that? You want to go on a run? This is how you do it. And it's going to be interesting to see, how they match up against them, how they try to attack their defense, not giving up the big plays. It's going to be very intriguing to see, man. But y'all know me. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, so I'm going with my Hurricanes in this one. Again, I respect Ohio State, but I love for my team to get back in this one, going against the Buckeyes and come out on top with a victory, man. So I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go 24-20, man. I think they get the last second touchdown and walk off Ohio State for the victory, essentially. So I'm going with my Hurricanes for the dub. All right, that is numero uno. Let's hit the next one, which will be a dandy, and this one is Oregon versus Texas Tech. Now, this one is interesting as well. Two really stellar teams when you break it down. Texas Tech offense has been good this year, 480 yards per game. Essentially, Oregon offense, same thing, only about 12 yards short. So it's the matchup of two electric offenses. Now, the defenses, don't get me wrong, they can make plays, they can get there. You got David Bailey for Texas Tech. You got Romello Height, two really elite guys on the edge who can get after Dante Moore, who can make it tough and rattle him a little bit. But this was interesting because when you come to Oregon, Oregon's a well-balanced unit. A lot of people will say, oh, well, they just throw the ball with Dante Moore. No, they have Whittington, who has been performing at a high level this year. Oregon likes to run the football, right? Oregon likes to give it to their back and let him cook. You know what I'm saying? Which makes them potent. Now we know about Malik Benson, Decorian Moore, some of those guys on the outside who are one-on-one matchup nightmares. Then it concerns me a little bit for Texas Tech if your defense can't get there every play. Can your secondary, can your back line, can they hold up against this elite Oregon offense, right? And when it's in that fourth quarter, if it's a tight game, let's say it's 14-7, where Oregon has been playing in this year, tight caliber games, can you make the plays defensively to get the ball back to your offense? Right. So it's going to be very interesting, man. Two really good defensive fronts, two teams that has phenomenal head coaches. I like what Cameron Dickey's been doing this year for Texas Tech, running the football. He's been basically unstoppable. But two teams, when you look at them in totality, they like to be well balanced. They like to run it. They like to run play action off different things and hit those big plays down the field. But can Texas Tech offensive line block a guy like Ugale, who's having a, awesome year for himself, getting into the backfield, getting a bunch of sacks? He'll be one to watch. Tuioti is another one at the linebacker spot that plays, blitz packages and things like that. So it's going to be real intriguing to see, man, with these two. We've had Dan Lanning come out and say, man, I would wish the game would have been played in Lubbock, Texas. Just, wanting to be able to have that home field, how electric that would have been for his players, and obviously for college football. Texas Tech a resurgence, right? They showing that the portal works, right? Like you can invest money into the portal and you can come out and make a college football playoff, right? You can get to that level in this type of caliber of a stage and be able to have success. So it's going to be real intriguing, man. This game, as ESPN has it, pretty much a toss up. And I would agree with them because Texas Tech has performed good all year. Only loss was to Arizona State, and they've been playing a high caliber of football, I'm saying, this year. But this is going to be a true tough test for them because you got a team like Oregon that can quick strike fire on you. They can run the ball and milk the clock. And if you ain't careful and you obviously Brand more and then you're not taking advantage of opportunities, you could be down 17-0 early in this game. Like that's how good Oregon is. But nonetheless, man, I kind of want to see what they're able to do. I'm gonna kind of go a little bit of an upset. I know the spread is favoring Oregon right now, but I'm gonna go Texas Tech. I know it's a neutral field, neutral setting, but I think they got the team. The defensive line is the part I think the reason they win because they can get after you. They don't have to blitz. They can get after you with a front four, and a lot of times they're confusing quarterbacks. Right? They're making them have to think longer, hold the ball longer, go through your progression, and a lot of times it's leading to sacks and negative plays. And when you have that at a consistent level, it makes you tough to beat. So that's why I got Texas Tech in this one. I think it'll be, like I said, another close game, two really elite opponents. And I think Texas Tech gets the edge. I'm going to go 27-24. I think they walk it off late as well. Back and forth contest, two really elite teams. Game kind of starts off slow, like 7-7, 10-7 lead going into halftime. And then Texas Tech turns it on in the second half, pulls away, and wins it 27-24 and come out with a victory, man. But like I said, with Cameron Dickey, Bryn Morton, all those guys on the outside, and obviously Douglas is your receiver, I think they should be able to get enough stops. But if you're Oregon, you're going to have a plan for David Bailey because he's been elite. He looks like an NFL caliber talent, and they got the best linebacker in the country in Jacob Rodriguez. So this Texas Tech team's loaded. They're physical. They're athletic. They get in the backfield. It's going to be a really interesting chess match between these two teams. But I'm going Texas Tech 27-24. Big time dub for the Red Raiders. All right, next one. Let's get into this one, man. This will be a good one. Alabama versus Indiana, man. Can't wait for this one. Two really good teams, two really good opponents. We know about Indiana 13-0 on the year. Alabama, I got to give credit where credit is due, man. They played at a high level in that game. Against Oklahoma, turned the tide. I thought they were done. I thought it was a wrap. It's over. That's it for Kalen DeBoer. He'll go be at the Michigan job. That did not happen. Kalen DeBoer still there coaching. Kyle Whittingham picks up the Michigan job. But, for all that, Alabama just being at this point with injuries they suffered, Jim Miller not seeing the field the entire year with injuries, having to lean on guys like Daniel Hill and things like that. Alabama never wavered. Alabama never, moved in a certain way. So I credit them for being at this point because it was ugly. When you fall down 17-0, a lot of times you're not coming back. So credit them, Ty Simpson for making the plays down the field. The defense for showing up with Xavier Brown. We know about LT Overton, who I know missed last game. But it's going to be a real intriguing contest. What I'm saying? Really good players on Alabama. Can they get after the passer? What I'm saying? Can they affect Fernando Mendoza? I think that's the biggest thing, too. I don't want that to be a harping point for all the games, but can you rattle a Fernando Mendoza when it comes down to it? And if you can, you make his life tough. Now, we know they got Roman Hemby in the backfield. They can hand the ball to him, and he's going to get the yards. He's going to get the gains, down the field and stuff like that. But if you Alabama trying to rattle Fernando Mendoza, which is easier said than done, and you're going to have to be a disciplined defensively in your coverages. You're going to have to try to slow down Lamar Cooper, and things like that. But if you, Alabama, when you have the ball, milk the clock a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Lean on some of that running game, right? Hit the play action shots down the field. Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton. You still got Ryan Williams, who I don't know why he hasn't been as involved this year. Should be involved more, but you still have him as a deep down the field weapon. So it's going to be interesting to say the least, man. To see this one. But like I said, I got to give credit to Alabama and just being able to come back from that. And everybody comes for Kalen DeBoer so hard. What I'm saying? I've been critical of him as well. But the fact that he was able to do that on the road in Norman, Oklahoma, brother, it says a lot. And I feel like that sometimes those kind of moments, it could be a springboard for you, right? It could be a calling card for you where you can go back and tell your team, okay, hey, this is what we dealt with, this is what we went through, but we was able to overcome it. And I think Alabama, that's going to be that moment. So don't be surprised if you see a team that's fired up, a team that has belief because hey, we did this, we was able to overcome it, and now we coming for the throne, and we're gonna try to beat that team. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait, bro. This is going to be an elite matchup with two really good teams. You know what I'm saying? Really well coached, and Kirk Cincinnati can't take nothing away from him. 13-0 last year, made the college football playoff before losing to Notre Dame. Have done everything they're supposed to do. But it's going to come down to the trenches. Who wants it more? It's that simple. I'm not going to say pressure on the quarterback. Who wants it more in the trenches? Can you protect Fernando Mendoza? Alabama, can you rattle him where force him into some mistakes and some turnovers, right? And then can you make Indiana one dimensional, right? Can you make them kind of hold pat that ball a little bit, right? Can you make him kind of force him to see different coverages? All that's going to be crucial. If you're the Crimson Tide, in order to affect him, in order to create negative plays, in order to be able to kind of rattle him a little bit. So be very interesting to say the least. What's going on, American man? Appreciate you tuning in, my brother. It's going to be a tough one, but tied by 7. Hey, I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, I think it'll be a tough one. You know what I'm saying, in this one. And I hate to doubt Alabama again. I really do. But what I seen in that Ohio State game, I know Alabama's storming back. I'm trying to put some respect on their name. I know what they've been doing this season. Defense been performing at a high level. But Indiana, I think this is a different animal this year, man. And I think this is a team, after getting so close last year, making a TFP playoff, losing to Notre Dame, they want to get back. They want to get back into that position. And I think they're going to be able to run the ball, at a good level and make it tough for Alabama to kind of get what they're doing or get a beat on what they're doing. So I'm going with the Hoosiers, man. I like Mendoza. I think he's been doing a good job this year, and I think it's going to be crucial for them to get out to a quick start and then physicality wise, defensively, shutting down the run. Because if Alabama is balanced and they can run and they can throw it, yeah, you're not coming out with a dub. And if you Indiana, and I say it so many times, like keep your foot on their neck. If you're up 17-0, go for the knockout blow. Right? Knockout blow ain't everything, but stay consistent in what you're doing. If this is working, stick with it. Don't overcomplicate it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like teams do that too much. They overcomplicate it, make it difficult. No, whatever's working, continue to do it. Continue to put pressure on Alabama. Continue to make it difficult for them to get into a rhythm and a groove. Because as soon as you let off that gas, Alabama's a team that they can hit you in the mouth. And then once they hit you in the mouth, they ain't going to stop hitting you in the mouth. And then they're back in the game, and then you got a ball game on your hands. So if you're Indiana, 14-0 lead or whatever it may be, you keep going, you keep punching them in the mouth. Because if you don't, Alabama already showed they got that trait in them. They can come back into the game and obviously come out with a dub. So that's my thoughts on this one, man. This one will be a really good, two really good teams. My key marking point is who wins the trenches, who will come prepared when it comes to that, who will make the adjustments at halftime in order to make a difference in this game. But I'm going with Indiana, close one, 31-21 over Alabama. Should be a good win for Indiana as they move on to the cities. All right, let's see. One more, one more. Appreciate you, my guy, man. Always showing that love and support for sure. Good commentary. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Try to keep you entertained, man. I had to do the show earlier, man, because the playoff starts today at 7. I believe it's 7:30, and then I'm doing something in this afternoon, cover some of these basketball games, man. So had to supply you, man. But please let me know, man, more content you want to see. Again, I'm gonna try to keep my daily shows on Wednesday, brother. Talking about college football even through the off season. And I have been thinking too. Let me know down in the comments. I have been thinking about potentially a transfer portal show, maybe like an hour or something. Transfer portal show maybe on Friday. We'll see. But I do want to get some of y'all feedback if I should or shouldn't, if y'all would be tuned into that. So then want to throw that out there, brother. But appreciate you always supporting, man. Means a lot. All right. Last game of the day. I don't really think this one's going to be close in my humble opinion. I think Georgia runs away with this one. And I'm not trying to disrespect Ole Miss. I know they're 12-1, and credit to them for winning that game. I know everybody's like, Nosh, why are you bringing up, oh, they beat Tulane? It wasn't even close. I understand y'all, but losing your head coach, losing somebody that was there, leading your team to new heights, 3-10 win seasons back to back to back, that does a lot. Sometimes you can kind of mentally check out. But credit to Ole Miss, they did not mentally check out. They was ready to go. But I think they met they match in this game. Unfortunately, I don't think UGA is playing around. The defense over the last few weeks has been stellar. You look at some of these young guys: Elijah Griffin, Rashawn Dinkins, Quintavious Johnson, Zayden Walker. All these guys that they got 4 or 5 stars here in the state of Georgia is playing some damn good football. And when you have that, it's a problem. And then they already given him a name at the cornerback spot. They're calling it Ellis Island. Yes, Ellis Robinson looks like one of the best cornerbacks in the country, balling the hell out. So for me in this one, obviously Georgia's playing with more pressure for sure, 100%. But at the same time, I think Georgia's like, hey, we good. Like we got a Nate Frazier, right? We got guys in the backfield we can get the ball to, and they can go back there and they cook. We got a Chauncey Bowens, right? We got guys that can really make this a short game, and we got a quarterback that we fully believe in, right? That doesn't turn over the football, that makes big plays down the field, that's tough and gritty, has that different type of a character. So I just think in this one, now Ole Miss defense has gotten better, but I don't feel like they're going to be ready. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. I know they got some good pieces back there, but I think Georgia, with their ability to run the football, hitting them shot plays down the field, I think they control this game from the start. And I don't think that the defense nobody's talking about, but it's been playing at an all-world level on all 3 levels. CJ Allen at linebacker, right? KJ Bolton at safety. We talked about Ellis Island. And we talked about the defensive line is creating more and more and more pressure. And they're not a team that you can go sideline to sideline on, right? You can't throw them screens. Georgia's going to get to the ball, right? You can't throw them quick little hitches. They're going to be right there. So if Ole Miss is going to have a chance in this one, they got to hit shot plays down the field. They're going to have to make Georgia make some mistakes, and they're going to have to make plays. Now, what's key is if you can get any semblance of a running game if you're Ole Miss, then you do have a shot in this one, right? Because Keywan Lacey has emerged as one of the better backs in the SEC, right? When you look at the best backs, you go Keywan Lacey, and then you go Ahmad Hardy. Those are some of the best backs in the SEC currently constructed as it is right now, right? Lacey's been balling. He's having a great year. 1,366 yards rushing, 21 touchdowns. He's been lethal. He's been that guy. And y'all know how I feel about QB1, QB1. I've been saying it since there was like, oh, well, what do we do? Austin Simmons or Trinidad Chambliss. I was like, yo, start Trinidad, and you see what he's doing. So he's playing at a high level. Don't get me wrong. But it's just there's levels to the defense. They lost to Georgia earlier this year. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's not saying that Ole Miss ain't going to compete. That ain't saying Ole Miss ain't going to play at a high level. But I just don't see them being able to go in there and beat them, right? Now, they do got some weapons that can match, right? Think about Harry Wallace III. You think about Hilton Deuce Alexander, Caden Lee, or Kenyon Lee. They got weapons to go up against Georgia, but can that offensive line protect for 4 quarters? I'm not too sure about that. I'm not sure if they can protect for them 4 quarters. You know what I'm saying? And make a difference, right? And you're gonna need guys like I'm gonna say PU. You're gonna need guys like him. You need guys like Dottery to make plays on the defensive side of the ball if you're gonna have a chance in this game. Other than that, I think it's a tough game for Ole Miss. Let's see the comments we got. Okay, America said, I think Ole Miss has nothing to lose and everything in the game. They do. I agree with you. They have nothing to lose. To be at this point, quarterfinals, one of the best seasons of program history, you lost your coach. You got a new coach, obviously not Pete Golden. I 100% agree with you. They're playing, essentially, to your point, American, they're playing with house money. Ole Miss is playing with house money. Well, no matter what happens in this one, they're playing with house money. Nobody expects them to win. Nobody expects them to come out on top. Nobody expects them to play at a high level. So if they're able to go and beat Georgia, that's more of a reflection on Georgia than it is Ole Miss. You're 1,000% right. Couldn't agree with you more, brother. And then he says Georgia only beat Ole Miss by 8 points during the regular season. They know each other. 100% true. Very true. I'm going to refute that though. The reason I refute that, go roll that tape when they played them, when they got sliced and diced. They did. Lane Kiffin had that offense rolling. Go look at that defense for Georgia then. Go look at that defense for Georgia the past 3 weeks. Completely different. I think they figured it the hell out. Don't look the same, brother. That's the only thing I'll say. I seen Georgia defense in person too when they played Georgia Tech in Mercedes-Benz. That defense looks vastly different compared to when they played them early in the year. Now if we going back to that point, you're 100% right. When they played Tennessee, they got obliterated, gave up 41 points. this ain't the same Georgia defense. Them young guys, they matured, they got better and better, and his defense looks completely different compared to what it looked like before. So if you're saying that early in the year, I would agree with you. But how they look now, Lord, no, they look completely different. So this one, I'm going Georgia. I think Georgia comes out with a dub. The Bulldogs playing at a high level right now. They're running the ball. They're getting sacks. They got a lethal weapon. You know what I'm saying? And Zachariah Branch is playing at a high level. Some of the young guys stepping up for them as well. I think the Bulldogs going to be ready and they're going to make some damn good plays. And I think they're going to run away with this one. I know, America, you got Ole Miss by 14. I got Georgia. Georgia. I got them by 17. I got 31-14 dub for the Georgia Bulldogs. They run away with this one in the second half, and they put the throttle down on Ole Miss. Bet you hatchet. I got Georgia, big time victory as well. And it's going to be a good one, brother. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to react to this game, too. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow night. I'm doing my little instant reaction videos for all these games as much as I can. Definitely going to do this one, though. So stay tuned for that video because definitely going to be able to do that one. Alabama by 7, Ole Miss by 14. All right, brother. We're going to come back. We're going to come back next week. You know what I'm saying? Probably not the same time. I don't know how your schedule look, but same day on Wednesday. And we're going to react to this game. And I'm also going to do my instant reaction video. So would love to see your comment there, American, and see your thoughts and what you think as well, brother. I'm prepared to eat, my guy. But there y'all have it, man. This was just a quick show, man. Just talk about some of these matchups, get my thoughts, get my analysis, get my predictions. Not a long show because, like I said, I got to go do something at 2 o'clock. I got to cover some of these games for hoops and for basketball, man. So, going to go do that. But I appreciate y'all tuning in for the show, man. A little live show previewing these college football matchups. I will be back next week, Wednesday night at regularly scheduled time, about 7. It's about 6 or 7:30. So y'all can stay tuned for that. But I will see you guys in the next one and enjoy. Hey, man, Happy New Year to everybody, man. I hope this new year finds a whole bunch of success for you guys. I hope you guys be able to reach your goals and ambitions, man. I appreciate y'all boys for rocking with me. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. And if you guys ain't doing nothing, man, enjoy the time with your fam, your loved ones, your friends, and I hope it's a great New Year's and a whole bunch of blessings I wish upon you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.